We're here again in the backspace of my backyard, and we're going to talk about runner's lunge a little bit. So runner's lunge is an extension of, not so much an extension, but another modification that you can add into your lunge. So it's something that you can kind of add in every once in a while to work on your strength for your belly, and you can work your leg strength as well. So instead of dumping all of the weight into your arms as you're holding your lunge position, and as you're transitioning from a low position, the body down low, into lifting up your body into a full crescent lunge. So I just want to talk a little bit about it, and I'm going to use my blocks because it's the easiest thing that you can use to kind of lift your hands up off the floor to give you a little bit of strength, especially if you find that hinging really forward is difficult for you. Let's say you have difficulty lifting yourself up using the strength in your legs. The blocks are going to help you. So you know that you can use them at different heights. I'm going to probably use them up at a little bit of a higher height so that I can really encourage the front of the body to expand in my runner's lunge, which is another benefit of working on that 1 second of a pause. Now, today it's going to be more than 1 second, but as you transition from your forward fold position-ish up to your full crescent lunge, you might take that 1 second or two pause to work on it. So from our forward fold, we would be basically in our fold position. I can use the floor, I can use my blocks. And what happens is we step back into our lunge position, yes? So what tends to happen is we dump our bodies down because of several reasons. Either I really want to get my hands to the floor, but the space that my legs take up requires too much space, and I've just compacted everything here. My chest is on my thigh. Just to get my hands on the floor, everything is really tight, compacted. So I can use my blocks to lift that torso up. I'm still using my blocks as a little bit of a support system. The idea is to one day not just be dumping everything into my arms. Because when I'm dumping everything into my arms, my lunge position is no longer a leg strengthener, it's an arm strengthener. So I want to get away from taking the arms doing the work. And what I'd like to try to do is see if I can lift my pelvic bowl up as well. So what happens is many times you're in a lunge position and you're like hanging in your hips, you're hanging in your shoulders, and then you're like, okay, I'm lifting, I'm in my up dog chest, but I'm really just sinking everything down. So can I strengthen up those legs? That leg back there is straightened as best as I can. I'm recruiting my glute. I'm seeing if I can lift my chest a little bit off my thigh. It still might be touching, but I'm not just dumping, yeah? And then I'm going to see if I'm needing the blocks because I can't reach the floor, can I lift even more the torso? And I'd like to get to a point where I'm not dumping, I'm light on my fingertips, and possibly even not using my fingertips. And right away you might find, oh, that's too much for my legs. Oh, I need one fingertip. I need 2 or 3. And as I'm touching the blocks, I can recruit my legs. Your lunge position really shouldn't feel like a bicep curl. It should feel like you're recruiting your legs, your lower half. And then as I get stronger, I'm not going to need my hands at all. And you might try that and find, it's too much balancing. I need that little bit of help. And that's fine. And you might even find, I need to put my back knee down. I'm tired. I need to rest. I'm going to do it again. And then maybe, okay, I'm going to try it again. I can pause for a second as I'm eventually making my way up, lifting the torso, lifting the top of the head up towards the sky. Eventually, I'm nice and sturdy. I got all of my points where I want them to be, and then maybe I can take my hands up. And again, that whole little split-second pause, you're going to notice that you're going to recruit some leg muscles. So it's a strengthener, yeah? So I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to take my leg back. And then you're going to notice the imbalances in your legs. You're going to notice that one of your legs is a little bit stronger. So as you may be kind of play around with that runner's lunge, you might find, oh, I'm going to switch legs. You get to the other side, you have your back toe tucked under, and you attempt to lift, and you really find that the one side is difficult. And that's okay. You might change the blocks. You might come up for a split second and go, oh, I need a break. Or you might come to that side and go, you know what? I don't even need the blocks at all. I can come up. I can hold this. I'm not dumping. Oh, yay. And you find that coming up into your upright position is much easier. So when we do these things from side to side, you are going to notice those imbalances. Please don't let them freak you out. We all have imbalances. Really, we do. So that's why we go through our repetitions again and again, so that we can try to even out those imbalances, trying to get to that perfect body. And I hate using that word perfect, but we want to get those sides a little bit more even, so that our spine is nice and neutral. We're not engaging one side more than the other, because that's going to eventually create an injury. So we don't really want that. So again, we're trying to get that spine lengthened as opposed to constantly this forward fold, this hunch position. And for some of you, it's going to take a long time to get that length, but at least work on opening up the front side of the body. Yeah, not so much that I'm peacocking, because that's not good either, because my low back isn't going to like that. However, that neutral spine, yeah, remember that neutral as we talked about in the spine? That's what we're trying to get, as close to that as possible. Yeah, make sense? So I just wanted to add in a little bit of that runner's lunge, so that when we continue with our flows, that you can kind of add in that little bit of extra if you'd like to. There's always something more to add into your practice. The runner's lunge is something that you might find too difficult and you don't really want to work on it. All you're trying to do is lift your body up into a crescent lunge, and that's fine too. But for those of you who want a little bit of extra, here's your runner's lunge.